Well, let's talk now to the Transport Minister, Lilian Greenwood, who's here. Good to have you with us.
Glad to be here.
There's so much to unpick now with this road safety strategy. The thing that's really caught my eye is the alcohol limits, because I think that's something that is, affects so many people.
Yeah.
Wanting to work out what's the safe limit, how much can you drink. What is it exactly that you're consulting on there?
So what we're consulting on is reducing the drink drive limit in England and Wales to bring it into line with Scotland and, frankly, the rest of Europe. So it's been 80 milligrams per 100 millilitres of blood since it was introduced in 1967.
What's that in like alcohol units? Is that a beer? Is that a wine?
Well, it's almost
difficult.
It is impossible to say that, Sophie, because it will vary by person, by how large they are, by their sex, by their age, by their metabolism. So the safe answer is, if you're going to go out and have a drink, don't take your car. If you want to take your car, don't have a drink.
So I guess this is what I'm slightly struggling with, because I've been looking at this and trying to work out how much is safe to drink. And like you say, you don't know. Like me and Wilf, different sizes, might be completely different safe limits. So why don't you just say no drink at all?
Well,
that is impossible to know.
That's probably the best advice. Is if you're going to drive, don't have a drink. If you want to have a drink, leave your car at home. We want to send that very clear message. You heard just there from some people who've suffered the loss of a loved one, and I've sat down with numerous families over the last 18 months, and they've been asking us to take action. Last year, 260 people were killed as a result of drink driving. That's unacceptable. You heard on the report, 4 people every day killed on our roads. 90% of road traffic collisions are preventable. It's a duty on us as government to act. We've had a decade and more of there being inaction. The numbers of deaths and serious injuries have kind of just stalled. Progress has stalled. The UK has gone from being one of the world leaders in road safety. We're slipping down the table. 22 countries in Europe have made more progress than the UK. And we're saying enough is enough. We know what are the causes of road traffic collisions, and we're determined to tackle those causes. Drink driving, drug driving, they're one of the issues that we need to tackle.
Yeah, I mean, I was really struck by when you said in the statement, one of the hardest parts of your job is speaking to families who've lost loved ones on the roads. And it really actually brings me back to when I started out as a journalist on local papers, and that I found it's something about the waste of life, the fact that they're so young, the fact that no one wanted to die. It is quite something else, actually, and it's obviously something that stayed with you as well. The other thing that I thought was quite interesting is the use of tech. So automatic brakes on new cars. Convicted drink drivers can only drive when they pass a breath test. I mean, what's going on here?
So obviously there's been a huge increase in new technology in recent years that are making cars safer. And there are other things that we can do. So automatic emergency braking. Mira Naran has been campaigning for this for Dev's Law. Her son was killed in a crash where a vehicle behind, I think it was an HGV, crashed into the back of their car. We know that these technologies can make a difference. They've been mandated across the EU, 19 different safety technologies. We're proposing to mirror that in Great Britain so that car drivers in this country also benefit from those safety features. Alcohol interlocks, this is the idea, and it's used often for professional drivers like, bus drivers and things, is that you have to blow into this device to check that you've not got alcohol in your system before you drive. That can be, we know that evidence suggests, and the RAC have been promoting this particularly, is that it can help with people who are persistent drink drivers. And so that's what we're proposing looking at, is that, should that be part of our armoury for dealing with people who are convicted of drink driving
offences? And just finally on this, you say it should be 6 months if you're a learning driver before you can take a test. I mean, have you seen the waiting times? No one can get a test in 6 months anyway.
Well, look, one of the things that
Come on.
Well, we know that we need to take action to protect younger drivers. You heard from Chris Taylor just then on
But they can't get a test because of the backlogs.
Absolutely, and we are taking action to tackle
if you can find a test in 6 months,
those tests,
let me know.
Backlogs. What we want to do is prepare young people for a lifetime of safe driving. So what we're suggesting is that you should have a minimum period of 3 or 6 months to learn to drive in different weather conditions.
You've already got that, that's my point.
At night. Well, but hopefully that won't always be the case.
Okay.
And actually, if more people are better prepared for their test, they're more likely to pass first time, and that in itself will reduce that backlog.
I just want to move on because we've had some extraordinary breaking news overnight, of course, coming out of the United States. I just want to start by reading the statement from the White House, saying that President Trump has made it well known that acquiring Greenland is a national security priority of the United States, and of course, utilising the US military is always an option at the Commander-in-Chief's disposal. I mean, what is your response to that?
Well, we've heard this sort of rhetoric from Donald Trump over a long period, but we are absolutely clear. The future of Greenland is a matter for Greenlanders and for Danes. There are allies in Europe, there are allies in NATO, and this is a matter, and their future is a matter for them, not for the United States.
I mean, would we say the same as the Americans when it comes to Greenland, that, using the UK military is always an option at the UK Prime Minister's disposal?
Of course not. The future of Greenland is a matter for Greenlanders and for Danes. It is not for us to determine.
No, but what I mean is they might need our backing.
Well, they are our allies in NATO, and you've seen the Prime Minister's statement yesterday. We are very clear in our position around Greenland.
And then just a couple of questions about this statement we had overnight with the UK and France, effectively saying that they are prepared to put boots on the ground in Ukraine. And I appreciate there might be a lot of stuff that you don't know the answer to or you can't tell us yet, but there's a lot of questions here. I mean, how many are we talking about? What could the cost be? Do we know any of this?
You're right, there are a lot of questions. The starting point for this is a ceasefire. Until we have a ceasefire, we're not going to be able to put in a multinational force to protect Ukraine's security.
Is it just the UK and France, or could there other countries be involved as well? Like, I mean, a lot of people are thinking about Germany as well.
Well, look, I've seen the same reporting as you have.
Yeah, you're part of the government, so hopefully you've got a bit more of an idea what's going on.
So obviously we want to stand shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine, as we have done since the start of this conflict. We've already built up our defence. We've already provided lots of support to Ukraine so that they can bring an end to this war, but more importantly, be secure for the future. We don't want to have a position where Russia could ever invade Ukraine again. But the starting point has to be bringing an end to the conflict, and that requires Putin to bring this bloody conflict to an end. It sits with him. His actions have been completely unacceptable. We need a ceasefire.
And I appreciate it's not in your brief, but you are a member of the government. Presumably you've had a briefing on this before coming on. Like, is there any indication that Russia could accept having forces from NATO countries in Ukraine?
I don't know the answer to that, Sophie. I'm not going to pretend that I do. But this is a matter for, it's about us backing Ukrainians in their fight for their own freedom, and we want to support them as we've set out.